biggest one, or one of the biggest ones. Now, there's a lot of other people. Hey, Penny Lane, you're in my ears and in my eyes. Hmm. Trying to. Hey, Beetle Brad's in the background. Okay, Beetle Brad. Just what I want you to do is give me a thumbs up when you're prepared, because I want to make sure I don't catch it. There you go. He's ready. This is a real honor, folks. I don't usually get Beetle Brad uh, on my channel, and I'm very glad to have him here. He's my friend. So here he is, Beetle Brad.
Oh,
uh,
whoa, oh gosh.
oh,
My earpiece on straight?
they let you out of prison today, huh? Come on.
Yeah. Good morning, top of the morning to you, Joe, and everybody else. How you doing?
Top of the morning to you, Brad, and the rest of the day for myself.
Yeah. Good to see you. What's
Uh,
up? How's it
Oh,
going?
yeah, I just getting settled here. Just felt like hanging around the house, and I'm like, before I go out or anything, let me just come up here.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Oh,
Sounds
really?
good.
Yeah, I saw your name on one of Rachel's things that the title of Beetle Brad was on. You were on Rachel's, huh?
Yeah. I haven't chatted with her in quite a while, so yeah, I thought I'd jump on and say hello to her and everybody else that was on there.
So it was a group. It was a panel, like a group thing, right?
Yeah, kind of like we do with Doc and a bunch of people and stuff, or your channel. We have people on.
Yeah. Hi, Beetle Brad. Penny Lane says.
Hello. Let me turn the volume up here a little bit so I can
Okay. You don't
at
want to
least.
hear my voice, that's for sure. But Brad, you know what's in? Let me think. 4 months. The Fest for Beatles fans in New York is coming
Wow,
up in like 4 months, sort of.
wow, that's hard to believe.
Wow, it's gonna be here before you know it.
Oh, and I'm so broke.
Yeah, I know. Somehow I find a way to take that car insurance money or cable money or something and
Yeah.
use it.
My dog's dog food money.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh my God, I'm gonna meet Beetle Brad. Yeah,
yeah,
I have to get that thing, but I don't have. I don't have. I mean, I should really have that in my banners. I
Richard
don't have it.
Dolan's. Yeah, amazing. So, what do you think of the new Ringo stuff?
Well, um, uh, I was just saying, when I first heard it a couple of times, I thought I liked two songs very much. The other two, now I was in the car the other day and I had it on repeat, so I
Yeah.
was playing it about 6 times,
Ooh,
and now I've gotten to like all the songs, and I think it's one of his
just
better
dropped it.
EPs.
Yeah, yeah.
You showed it, but what was your opinion of it?
I like it a lot. Actually, I think this is a better looking cover than the front
Yeah.
cover.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think that what I might do is kind of pull a Robert P. and record all of the EPs onto a CD and make this my front cover.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
So just a sec, let me grab this. This fell on the floor. But yeah, I think that'd be great. I think it's better than this. I mean, this is a nice cover. I think it's kind of nice. It's like
I
okay.
like all the orange in it and stuff, but the thing is, again, the peace sign, man. It's just that I have nothing against peace. It's just that I wish he would change his look up a little bit, change his
Yeah.
style a little bit.
Well, it's kind of getting old. I mean, to tell you the truth. I mean, yeah, I'm all for the peace and love, and that's great and all that kind of thing. But right now we're, as sad as it is, we're in war, and there's a lot more going on than just saying peace.
I just found out that Penny Lane had said there's a decaf green tea you can buy. The best green tea is matcha green tea. I have
Oh
Bigelow.
wow, that would be good.
Bigelow? Yeah, I have the Bigelow green tea here, Brad.
Oh wow, that's great. I was going to have a cup of coffee, but you were on, so I thought, well, I'd come on here first before I get me a cup of coffee, eh?
Yeah,
So
we're talking about tea here. Just like the Ruddles. You know,
yeah, tea with the Ruddles.
so
Definitely, yeah.
mm,
So I'm getting
yeah.
ready for a big. Actually, I've got a big presentation to do tomorrow, so getting ready for that and preparing my notes. I'm going to be speaking tomorrow to about about 230 people. So I've
Well,
got a
what's
big.
this about?
I belong to a car club, and we're having our once a month our meeting, and we have a big luncheon and guest speakers and all that. And tomorrow is the event that we have, and our guest speaker is me.
But you
So,
call yourself Beetle Brad there too?
no, no, not too many people know. Well, a few people know him, Beatle Brad
What do you
there,
do?
but
It's probably a Beetle like Volkswagen Beetle.
yeah, there you go, there you go. But no, it's all. I'm real big, as you kind of know, but some of the viewers probably don't know. But I'm a big car person,
Yep.
so um, yeah, I got that coming up tomorrow. But just to share that with you, just for fun.
And George Copeland says hello.
Oh, hello, George. How are you, lad? Good to see you.
He's a good
Definitely.
lad. There's a lot of good lads out there.
Hey, there are.
Yeah.
Let's.
So, where do you stand on the Rolling Stones album, the new Stones album? Are you interested at all?
Yeah, yeah. I've heard some of it, and it's okay. It's kind of. I mean, I like the Stones a lot. I've got a lot of Stones, so I mean, I'm not exactly saying, oh well, I've got only two albums. I mean, I may have maybe close to 35 albums of the Stones. So I
Oh,
do like
yeah.
the Stones a lot, but I don't know this song. I mean, the album itself. It seems too repetitive. It seems like every song almost sounds the same.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, it's good, but it's not great. I mean, I'm kind of like, I don't know. It's a little dry in parts.
You haven't heard? All I heard is "Angry" so far. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. Angry's good. That's a great one.
How about the Paul
Um,
song, "Bite My
yeah,
Head Off"?
the
Bite your head
rest of
off.
them seem a little dry. So.
What's Brad's favorite car of all time?
Rolls Royce, definitely.
You're a Rolls Royce man.
Yeah, actually, I'm a national Rolls Royce judge too. I'm quite involved with Rolls Royce.
Mhm.
So when I go to the car shows, I judge cars at the car meets. Yep.
Well, cars
Yep.
are not my thing, and obviously, I wish I could know a lot about it and join in, but I don't.
That's all right.
The only thing I know is my first used car I bought in '83 was a '73 Chevy Nova, and it
Oh
was
wow.
really in great shape. It had 73,000 miles on it at the time,
Yeah.
and I really
Why
got a lot of
not?
use out of it. Yeah.
Why not? Why not? But yeah, no. That's anyway. I could bore you with car stories, but I won't. But I got a photo shoot for a magazine coming up for a car show 2 weeks. Yeah, wow, that's coming actually a week and a half. That's coming up quick.
So
So
is that your second love, or would you put them ahead of Beatles?
yeah, yeah, it's second love. I mean, it's actually pretty close to first, but it
Yeah.
kind of goes back and forth between that and Beatles. I mean, it's just fun.
So, Spring Hill Jim, what's up? He says, so are we getting the Sean Lennon treatment on Mind Games? I don't know if you
Hmm.
mean, is Sean going to be like, I can't think what the word is, man. Words fail me sometimes lately. Overseeing the
Yeah,
thing or not. And it's like, he has a lot to do with these things lately. Because I
it'll
know,
be
I
interesting.
was so happy because, I'm not bragging, but I love, he did see my Give Me Some Truth review, and he sent me a message saying, you have great ears, and you noticed a lot of things. And then he was talking about taking, the horns off of Steel and Glass, which was the one thing in my review I had said I did not like, that the horns were removed, and he was kind of saying why he did that and
Oh wow.
stuff, and I'm like, okay. So anyway, I think he has something to do with it. I assume that when the day comes that we get Walls and Bridges, that the song Steel and Glass is going to keep the horns on it. I think they would just to give it a different sound on Give Me Some Truth.
I think Walls and Bridges is probably one of John's best albums. Personally, I like Walls and Bridges a whole lot. I mean, it's a toss up for me between Walls and Bridges and Double Fantasy. I know that people say, well, it's my favorite because it's John's last one. Well, I bought it before John left us,
Yeah,
before he got shot. So I mean, I bought the album the day it came out and was real excited with it, hearing it on the radio. And I like Double Fantasy a lot. So I
yeah.
go back between Walls and Bridges and Double Fantasy
Yeah,
kind of.
Walls and Bridges I like a lot too. That's probably my second, probably third, my third favorite
I
album.
know
But
you're a John guy. What's one for you then?
it's got to be Imagine, even though it's so, that's an album that's played out a lot. It's an album that
Yeah.
everybody talks about it, and it's
Excuse me.
overexposed. And then Plastic Ono Band also, even if it is a little heavy, it's a little heavy on
Yeah.
stuff.
Not the wedding album.
Oh well, actually, I was it's a toss up between that and Life with the Lions. I couldn't really
Yeah, there you go.
decide
Like
which one is better. But
yeah,
yeah. So, and Double Fantasy, the thing about that for me was, I was 18 when it came out, and I was disappointed in 1980. I mean, I thought Yoko stuff sounded good. I thought Yoko sounded like, I know you're not a big Yoko guy, but I just thought she sounded more like what was going on in the new
yeah,
wave thing. But John was like, playing it a little safe, I thought. And I was like, I wanted a little something more intense, harder from John. But now these days, I love John's stuff on Double
yeah,
Fantasy.
yeah. So I think it's terrific. I mean, it's really quite a masterpiece, actually, in lots of ways. I always liked it from the beginning. So yeah, it's great. Definitely, just got some new stuff on Double Fantasy. Actually,
Oh yeah,
new
have you
content.
done? You must have done a Double Fantasy video.
Yeah, yeah, I did. I did a whole video on Double Fantasy, but I got some more stand-ups and collectibles on Double Fantasy. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
still want to get. I know you have it in your room. It's still one thing that I want to get. The thing that just says Double Fantasy on sale here or something. The album out now or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just a banner that I'd like to have.
That's kind of sentimental. I got that before John
Oh
died.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
so I mean, I got that at my local record store. I remember, saying to the guy, "Oh, can I have that?" Because he had that, and then the big blowout, big poster, which was huge. And I said to him, "Can I have that?" And he says, "Yeah, sure. You can have that too. When we're done with the promotion of the album, you can have
yeah.
that." And then when John did die and all that, he said, "Oh well, I've decided to keep the poster for myself, but you can have the other one."
Uh,
Darn, I
well,
really wanted
it was
that.
different back then. I think. I mean, I
Oh
didn't.
yeah,
I didn't. I wasn't into that back in the '70s, say, with solo stuff and stuff.
yeah.
But if I had been back then, maybe they're more. I think they're more likely to have given you things after the
They
promotion.
did. Yeah,
Yeah.
most of the time they just gave it to you. I mean, there wasn't internet, there wasn't eBay or any of the other Amazon or any of the websites. So it was basically just they'd either toss it or whatever. So yeah, I kind of collected back then because the record store that I went to was kind of a little record store in a village area, and actually John and Yoko had an art exhibition there.
Hmm.
Um, and that was kind of neat, to think, oh my gosh, they had an actual art exhibition there. So,
Hmm. Um, I just had something and I slipped my mind what I was going to say. Oh, anyway, oh yeah, like recently in 2018, when Paul had that, I'm looking at it now. I have no room to put display everything in here, this area. But the Paul McCartney Egypt Station album stand. I
oh yeah,
remember.
I remember when you got that.
I
Yeah,
remember, man. I had trouble with that because I went to a bunch of Barnes and Noble and they didn't have it. Or one guy said, "No way!" Like one person that put it aside for me with my name on it. And when I went to pick it up, the manager was there. He said, "No way, you're not getting this." And he
yeah,
took it. He said, "I'm not selling. I'm not giving you this." I said, "Well, I'll buy it, if you want." And he said, "No, no." Anyway, because I don't know what he was going to do with it, but finally I did get it, and that was mostly, and that was because of Alan C. Records, really. A
oh
friend
wow,
of mine helped me because what happened was, I don't know if you remember, I got the bottom part. I got the
yep,
bottom. One store only had the bottom, but it didn't have the pole
yep.
part that sits in.
He sent you the rest, didn't he?
So yeah, Alan actually had, I don't know, a spare one, or I don't know how, but he had the top. So I
Yeah.
met him at the fest, and he gave it to me. Always grateful for that.
Oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Just recently got this. I don't know if you've seen this out and about.
What is this? I know, is it reissue or something? What is that?
Yeah. Well, no, this is. Here, let me take it out of the sleeve. This is a. Um,
It's not the
I
original.
can't say bootleg anymore, but
Okay, unofficial.
Yeah, there you go. It's an unofficial, yeah, but it's like that on both sides. So that's just kind of neat. I just
It's pretty
recently
sharp.
went to a record show.
Yeah. What's this
That's
here? We have a question here.
yeah,
What's your favorite Ronnie? I don't know what that is. Dio solo album? Is that a joke? I don't know what that is.
Ronnie Ronnie Millsap.
Dio Dio.
Hmm.
All right.
No, you may have to reword it or say it again. So yeah, not too sure.
I saw you recently got to meet Patty Boy. What was that Hamburg LP you signed? Was it the Star Club recordings? I don't even know what the heck that was. I think it was. It might have been more Tony Sheridan stuff. I think on that thing. I was looking when. It really stinks. I didn't know there was this album. I think you got it signed, Brad. Yeah, it was the Patty Boyd album where she her her face is on the
Yeah,
album.
that's the album I got signed. Was
Yeah,
a big face of her, on the album cover.
I
Yeah.
didn't even know that existed at the time. Then I
Mhm.
found out about it later, and so I was looking for like some record, and I knew there was this album I had where it had the picture where you see the Beatles sitting in the chairs and the girls are doing their hair,
Yeah.
and the one doing George's hair is Patty. So I figured, well, I'll get that signed, but it wasn't. It wasn't a very. I don't have it handy here. It wasn't a very clear cover. It wasn't good. It was kind of like black and white. It wasn't really that good. Anyway, and on top of Patty's head, it said Hamburg on top of her hair. So it kind
Yeah.
of like they chose her head to put the thing on. So,
That looks. I mean, that was a good one to get signed though, because nobody else had that either. So that's kind of cool. I remember you getting it signed.
hey, Beetle Dave wants to know what your favorite Beatles song is, Brad.
Hey, Dave. How's it going, my brother? Good to see you. Yeah, favorite Beatles song. Oh my gosh, that changes all the time.
It's impossible, but I have one.
Yeah, I bounce around from song to song. Right now, as of today, I'm really big into "I Feel Fine." I mean, I'm really kind of enjoying the guitar riff at the beginning, when they're playing in the feedback, and I just I wow, that's so impossible to do. I mean, it's like picking your favorite John song or George or Ringo,
Yeah,
solo wise, or Paul. It's just um, I mean, you could say anything for a Beatles song.
yeah. That Patty photo was the set of A Hard Day's Night. Yes, the what I'm talking. They were in the director's chairs. Actors' chairs, movie star chairs.
Yeah, yeah,
Peter Boothroyd wants to know if you heard the Rolling Stones song with Paul.
yeah.
I heard he
Um,
sings on it a little bit too. He said
yeah, it's not bad. I tell you, the song that I don't like is the Ringo and Dolly Parton one. I think that is just
oh yeah,
trash.
Ringo is on the album. Wasn't sure of that.
Ringo, or not Ringo. Golly, where am I? Is it? It's
Oh,
Paul and Dolly, right?
I
Yeah,
don't know. Are
yeah,
you
Paul and
talking about
Dolly
you
Parton.
talk? Wait. Are you talking about Dolly Parton, Let It Be, or are you talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, you see, the thing is, I haven't talked much about it. I love it, and I only heard it twice. I heard it the first time. I was like, "Oh, this isn't bad." I thought, and then the second time I played it for my girlfriend, and she was like, "Oh, I like this. I like this a lot." And I'm like, "Yeah, I like it." And then I thought, "Oh, this is going to be one that people are going to like it." Then most people didn't care too much for it, or they thought it's just all right.
No,
Some of you, you come. How do you really feel about it? That's the question.
yeah, really. Don't be shy. Let us know what you really feel like.
Good morning, Lingo McHarrison. I'm gonna put the link up again if I can, just in case anybody's out there. You know, one of our regulars. But
I
it's
don't
a
want to join you.
real treat for me to have Brad here this morning.
Well, thanks for letting me come up, Joe.
Yep,
Appreciate
th-
it.
this was like completely unplanned, and it was just. I know
Yeah,
you're an early riser like me, right?
yeah, that I am. I am.
So,
I never used to be, but I am now. Yeah, I am definitely.
let's see
So
what do we got here.
we usually
Okay,
don't.
go
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead.
Well, you could finish. You usually don't what? What were you going to say, Brad?
Um, usually we don't get private messages. You and I. and YouTube and all that kind of stuff. But lately, I have been getting. I guess there's a way to do it still, but I am getting private messages, and I thought it was a joke in the beginning, but it is actually from messaging, and I'm contacting back and forth with Ringo Starr.
Really?
Yeah, I was
Wow.
shocked when I first got my first message. I was like, okay, this is somebody pulling a joke on me. But
How did you know? How do you know? I know if you don't mind, because I got a comment yesterday from Ringo's official Ringo Starr thing, and and I thought it was, oh, this is Ringo. In my case, it's not. But how did you find? Do you know if it's really the Ringo?
I I kept asking. I kind of inquired and kind of I wasn't jerky about it, but I was kind of forceful. I did. I mean, I kind of said, how do I really know this is really you, and and all that kind of stuff. And he kind of replied back saying, oh yes, this is really the real deal of Ringo, and so yeah,
Tell him to to tone down the peace signs.
yeah, really, yeah, come up with something up, something else. I mean, at least maybe a thumbs up or
Oh, Spring Heeled Jim says, I was listening to some Julian Lennon recently. Now You're in Heaven from Mr. Jordan is a highlight. The album, Everything Changes, is worth getting if you haven't already heard it. I don't have all Julian's albums myself, but I do like very much Now You're in Heaven. I like that he
it's
puts
a
a different
great
voice
song.
on David
That's
Bowie
a real good
sounding.
song, and the promotional video is very good too. Have you seen the promotional video,
I don't
Joe?
think, no, no.
Yeah, that's very good too. But I mean, the song is very good. I think it's actually one of Julian's better songs that he did. Now that you're in heaven is a terrific track.
Lingo McHarrison says, Brad, I saw your Beatles red vinyl butcher cover. Is that new release and is it hard to
Yeah,
get?
yeah, brand new. Actually,
You
actually, I
have
was
it.
going to show it.
You have it
Yeah,
handy.
just so happens. Surprise, surprise. As John Lennon used to do. Remember that video that John did? He go, surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise! You point at the thing.
Yeah, this is it here. I got the glare on it, but yeah, this is brand new. This just came out. But
And
it's a mono pressing, and it's actually really good. But yeah, it's good. I do like it.
what's with the? It's on red vinyl.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on, you love colored vinyl.
I was gonna say, it's waiting for you to
I
do
was
the
like, how in the world could you not show that? I know he loves
yeah.
colored vinyl.
All right, you ready for this?
I'm gonna blow it up for this. Okay.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Nice. All
And
right.
you know the cool thing about it?
What's that?
Okay, you fell for it. It's red on both sides. Sweet. Yeah. No, but yeah, I like that a lot. So that's kind of neat.
What are your thoughts on the red and blue albums being remixed? Do you think they're going to be released? Well, I can't say anything, but looking right in the lens here, yes, they are definitely. I know they're remixed and they're going to be released.
Yeah.
Yes, I know this.
I'm disappointed that it's on the red and blue album. To tell you the truth.
Yeah, you mean the new song?
Yeah. I just it's just I like the album, the red and blue, but it just doesn't really do much
No,
for me. I mean, I can
no.
see that they're trying to capture the market with people that are non-Beatle fans by putting it on a greatest hits because, people that are not really Beatle people have a tendency to lean towards, greatest hits of, Carole King or Michael Jackson or, Dave Clark or whoever, So I can see a marketing ploy in the whole thing, but for putting it out on this album, I don't agree. Now, the album I would have put it on was I would put it on the album that's gray and it's got the little picture of the Beatles and it's Beatles rarities. I would put it on that one.
Oh, and that. Well, what I wish they would do. Well, first of all, I think it would be a good idea to put it on a 45 for Record Store Day or something.
Oh yeah, now that's a
Release it
good
as a single for one thing. Don't just put.
idea.
Don't make it the only way you can get it is to get the blue album. Which is probably what it's going to be at first.
Yeah,
Uh, this one
I
here.
showed this on Rachel's, which I don't know. Have you seen this
Oh, what's
before?
the
I
deal
showed.
with this? Led Zeppelin Yellow. I don't know what that is. What is it?
Yeah,
Zeppelin?
yeah. It's a Led Zeppelin album, but it's kind of a takeoff of the Yellow
Oh,
Submarine.
it just has the cover like the Beatles.
So then there's the back.
Oh, I see. The content isn't anything Beatley. It's just that it's got
No, it's them in concert, Zeppelin in
live.
concert. But it's actually kind of hard to get, you know. And I got this a couple of years back, and Rachel actually Mazzy wanted to see it.
Oh yeah,
Mazzy,
he's got a
Mazzy
big
was.
collection. Wow, that's for sure.
So, but the record's really, I mean, the the jacket's really cool. But you want to see the record?
Sure.
Oh no, you can do better than that. You want to see the record?
I'm tired. It's real. Yes, I want to see the record. Yeah,
Ooh,
it looks like marble or
look at that
something.
side A. And then if don't want to jump ahead for those of you that are not paying attention, but side B.
Somebody
Isn't
wants to
that
know how's the
cool?
music. How's the music on that album? Have you heard the album?
It's not bad. It could the sound quality is a little distorted. It's a live, like I said, a live unreleased concert of Zeppelin, um, and it's good, but it's not. You know, here I'll go back to it. It's from 1969, and it's good, but it's not fantastic. But it's actually quite a hard one to get. I mean, I've seen this on I don't know if I want to mention eBay, but I've seen it on eBay for going for about 200
That's all right.
bucks now. Yikes! Yikes!
Um, Naz says always annoyed me. Does Ringo play drums on "I Won't Back Down"? I've heard he does not play drums, even though in the video you see him playing drums. I've heard that he doesn't play on "I Won't Back Down" with Tom Petty.
Huh?
I don't know if that's true or not. Somebody can look that up, but I'm pretty sure I was disappointed once because I thought, oh, this is great. It sounds like Ringo. When Ringo
I
plays it, I'm
thought he
like,
did.
this is great. And then they like, wow, he doesn't. Oh, what a bummer. Let me know. Let me know about that.
Robert S. went to a record store the other day. Do you
Yeah.
go to that record store as
Well,
well?
hey Robert, I'm fairly close by.
Yeah,
We can
yeah,
go to lunch and go to the record store, huh, buddy? Chum.
exactly. Yeah, you
No,
guys. But
I know I went there once. I made a video on it, but I haven't been there in years before COVID.
oh wow.
So I really could use to go there, and again, maybe with Anthony I'll go, even though he's not into records or anything.
He's always thrilled.
Now Lingo McHarrison asks, will either of you see McCartney when he comes around? What do you think?
I saw him. What was it? In the Got Back tour or whatever. I
Yeah,
just recently saw him, and then I just recently saw Ringo a month ago.
yeah. So that's a yes, I guess.
Yeah, so I mean, if Paul comes back around this way, yeah, I
Well,
might.
so would I. And here's the thing: on my situation, it's like I always say. Listen, I personally I feel Paul's been touring so much since 1989
Yeah,
that and his voice, I think his voice is better now, a little bit better now than it was several years ago. I think he's gotten a little better with it. But the
yeah,
thing is, I always say I really would rather he rest his voice and make albums and things, and not concentrate so much on live stuff. But he does it for himself and because he loves it, and he loves the attention. He loves playing for people. He enjoys it. But here's the thing: sometimes even though I say that oh, that's enough, I would go. I would go because what it is everybody still enjoys themselves. He still sells out stadiums and stuff and plays big crowds, and it's like you're there to be in the same atmosphere with Paul, right, Brad? To
yeah,
to
yeah,
be there with Uncle Paul and to breathe in the same oxygen and all the energy of the people. There's Paul of the Beatles still doing it, and while you don't expect him to sound like he did in the '60s or '70s or 2000, maybe '90s, it does in a way. It doesn't matter to me, it's the whole package. So I
yeah.
probably would see him again. Yeah,
Boy, is he a showman, though. I mean, he does love to put on a show. I mean, he puts on a phenomenal concert.
yeah. Well,
Um,
my
very,
only my only quibble with well, it's not a quibble, it's a big thing, is that I'm tired of the same songs.
yeah, Yeah.
set list.
I
And
agree with you on that. Definitely. I'd
yeah,
love to see a good change up of songs.
yeah, and not only that, but it's the same discussion and talk with the audience in between
Hmm.
numbers. Same thing. That's the only thing. If I'm
Yeah.
going to nitpick, you know. But he did add "She's a Woman" this time. In he's playing "She's a Woman" in Australia, which is nice.
Because there's DVDs out there of unauthorized stuff. I mean, like this one. This is a Blu-ray, unauthorized one of Paul in concert. But it's
Yeah, yeah,
it doesn't matter if you see the Chicago show or the Boston or Illinois or even Japan. Exactly like you said. It's the
it's the same thing.
um, same dialogue, and you would think he would kind of you know at least
Every
say
year,
something.
change it every year, every tour. You know.
Yeah.
Um,
And it is expensive to go though, but it's kind of a once in a and he won't be touring forever. That's the other thing, he kind of with Paul or Ringo, I mean, gosh,
yeah, a lot of people say, "Well, I got to see Paul. I got to do." You know, I don't mean to be so crass, but you know, whatever. But you had a plenty of opportunity.
yeah.
It's almost 35 years. You know, you had plenty of opportunity. You got to go. You know, you got to make it a point. Um, yeah. As far as this, what are your thoughts on McCartney's recent concert in Adelaide? I only watched "She's a Woman." I was curious, and I thought it went over pretty well. I mean, I'm not saying
Mhm.
it was great, but considering Paul's age and everything, I enjoyed "She's a Woman." I saw that clip. Did you see anything from that at all
Yeah,
yet?
that's really the only clip I saw, and I liked it. It looked like he had a pretty solid performance. I mean, I'd like to see probably when there's a boot that comes out on it on DVD, I'll probably get it because I'd like to see the whole
Right.
show.
Well, and I still, you know, the story. I still got the Glastonbury one from my.
Hmm.
Well, I'm not going to say from who, I guess, but it doesn't work. It doesn't play. Yeah, I got
I
a video.
do.
Doesn't.
I've got it. When we come to Beetle Fest, you want me to make a copy for you, and I'll bring it.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm thinking when I go there, maybe I'll just bring it with me and say, "Guy, enough for nothing. This doesn't play. Can you give me another one? I bought this, you know, last show.
Yeah.
Maybe he'd probably be cool. I could call him, but I don't. I don't bother. But here's a person's, well, Jim, asking us what's your favorite Ringo EP of the recent ones, the recent times.
Oh,
I know I like the first one the best right now. Zoom in. Um, uh,
I kind of
yeah.
like this one. I think this is kind of the icing on top of the whole cake of it all. I mean,
Yep.
no, they're good, but I think this one would be really good. And Ringo's voice range and everything is very good on this, and I think he does a great job. That's why I think with this new country album that Ringo's going to do, I think that'll actually come off pretty well for Ringo.
And I like the new EP Rewind Forward. Probably second. The
Yeah,
Zoom in's my favorite. This new one is the second. I probably
yeah,
like EP3 the third.
yeah,
And my least favorite is Change the World. Is probably my least favorite of them.
yeah.
Um, Sea of Holes says Paul needs to tour the UK before the US. Shh. No, he really does. I mean, he should, but you know, put it this way: happy for you if he tours the UK. Happy for us if he does the US.
Yeah, yeah. Which I kind of hope when he comes to America, he does some different venues. Because he kind of has a tendency to hit California, New York, and Chicago. But it'd be kind of nice if he shows
do,
up.
do you like Mersey Beat and Liverpool acts like Bill Fury or the Searchers?
Oh, me or you
I
or
guess both of us.
I like the Searchers a lot. I've got several of their albums, but mine are all UK pressings, which are sound terrific. But yeah, I like the Searchers. I even got some promo videos of the Searchers, and yeah,
Yeah,
they're
yeah. I
great.
was almost going to change my name, by the way, my channel name to Mersey Beat Mayo.
Oh
or
wow, well,
or
that's
or
kind of
Mayo's
cool.
Mersey, Mayo's Merseyside or something like that. But
That's
because
cool.
people get messed up with the mean part, and I don't like that. Except that some people get it. What it's a spoof on Mean Mr. Mustard, but I can't change it at this point. But anyway, as far as this question, I do like the Searchers. I'm not really as familiar with Billy Fury.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I like a lot of other British groups too. There's just tons of them. I mean, definitely, the Kinks, the Who, Dave Clark Five, and Cliff Richards. I mean, I know for a while there you had a bunch of Cliff Richards albums, and
Hmm.
you got rid of them, I think, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I still got some. I have a few, but
Yeah,
yeah, remember that? I never should have done that, but I go through moods where I'm like, oh, I got too much stuff. I'm not going to be playing them a lot, so why don't I
yeah.
just go get some money for them? And then I was like, maybe I shouldn't have done it. That was a nice collection. I had like, I found like 50 albums or something, whatever, or
Yeah,
30 albums.
yeah, which is pretty wild at one time to hit that many. But I certainly run it. Like the video you did. Oh, I don't know, year ago maybe. Where you talked about I'm running out of room or something like that. I can relate to that. And
Mm.
it's like, what do you do when you run out of room? What do you get rid of or what do you keep?
Yeah, well, the whole thing with that is that, well, this is a little. Most of my stuff is in this little room. Some of it is in the living room. Some of it like spreads out to the living room a little. But I keep hoping that one day, a couple of years from now, we're gonna get into a house and it's gonna be bigger and there'll be much more space, and then I don't care as much. But right now, I got to be careful. This person, I just want to say, George Copeland asks, "What are your thoughts with the two of you of John Lennon's Plastic Ono Band box that came out 2 years ago?" Great. I loved it. I
Yeah.
love all the Lennons are doing great on the Lennon stuff. The prices on the boxes are reasonable considering, and they give you a lot of material.
hmm I bought the box set as well, and I was glad to hear the album a little sharper, cleaned up. But I probably enjoyed the outtakes more so
Sure.
than the album because there was just so much material on it that I was really getting into it. So like Joe, you were saying, whenever they do a box set, they do a really good job. And if John was here today, I think he would be really into the fact that people are still, so much into John and buying the box sets and all that kind of stuff because none of that existed when John was around.
Yeah. Hey, this Rachel says, "Hey, Beetle Boys, have a great show, Joe and Brad." Hey,
Rachel,
hey. Hello there. Hello,
three
Rach.
thumbs up. Well, two thumbs up. Rachel, what a sweetie. Yeah,
Three and a half, 3.5 thumbs up.
that's right. Yeah, she's a sweetie. Good old Rachel.
We talked a little about the Stones album. David Jackson. Have you heard the Stones' new album? It's really good. Paul's bass playing is excellent. Bite my head off. I only heard "Angry" the single, which I did like, and I'm really getting interested. I usually I haven't bought a new Stones album since Steel Wheels. So, but I'm thinking I might want to be. I'm not going to be interested. Not just because of Paul, because mainly because I like the song "Angry," and there's a lot of hype behind this that it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, Paul being on it is a bonus for me.
I
Why do you think Paul feels the need to tour? I'm telling you, it's not the money. Paul always loves the interaction with the audience, and he does love attention, and he does love adoration. He likes
yeah.
and he likes people to like his music and stuff like that. And it keeps you. I think as you get older, I think Paul and Ringo feel this keeps them energized and a lot. Keep going. You don't just sit on a couch. I mean, you get old and just like wither away and let your arteries harden. That's what I think.
You know what my opinion of it is. I think with Paul touring a lot, I think he's enjoying tour. He's a showman the whole time, and he loves being on stage, like you said, and he's all of
Yeah.
that. But I also think that Paul's trying to keep his legacy going, so when he does pass away, people will kind of recognize him for okay, he's fantastic albums, but he also performed live and what phenomenal concerts he did put on with fireworks and other displays and all that kind of stuff. I think he's trying to build more of a legacy of when he's gone that people will recognize him because he certainly has an awful lot of backlog songs that are still in the can that when he does pass away, I guarantee you we'll probably have 10 more albums that'll come out after he's gone. There's so much.
Yeah, and I always say that. Yeah, that's all fantastic. Everybody could say they remember having seen Paul live, but I
Mm,
always think like the legacy after he's gone is will be his albums. that'll be
Yeah,
played. That's why I wish he would like, get want to put a new album out, which I'm sure he will at some point.
yeah. Which
Um,
I think he will. I think he'll put out some more studio stuff. It's like he was years ago he was going to put out the album Cold Cuts, and then the bootleggers got to him before he did it. That's why it didn't
yeah,
come out. But I
yeah.
think
I
there's still
still,
there.
that's Brad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that, John.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, even though he's got so many bonus songs and extras on his archives editions and stuff, I would love an amazing box set of anything that's B sides, extra songs, all these
I
things
made CDs of
compiled.
it. That'd be good.
Yeah, I would like that. Nothing but B sides, cold cuts, stuff and whatever else you call them, bonus tracks, all these things that weren't out on a box in a box, just the dedicated rarities
Yeah,
by
that'd be
Paul.
neat. Like this is one of my, like Tim Allen makes CDs. I do too. Well, this is all unreleased. God, what
Brad,
side?
hold on. I'm just gonna disappear for a moment. You talk about that, or you could show some
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
I'll be
This
back
is
right
yeah,
away.
very cool. But this is kind of neat. A new Paul McCartney CD that I made, and there's so much stuff out there with Paul that's unreleased that I just put together this CD. And there's the back of it. I decided to show everybody out there the back of it, but it's kind of cool. Like I said, I don't have the song listings because each CD it's a two CD set. Um, Real fancy artwork in there, but each CD um, is about 35 songs on both CDs. So there, you got about over 60 songs that are unreleased on one album, which is or CD, which is really cool. Since Joe's gone, what else can I show that everybody get a kick out of? Recently, just picked up this. So I don't know if you're familiar with this one, but this one is actually pretty cool. This is got some neat stuff. It's got interviews in there. So you got
Oh,
your
I'm
list.
back. Let me see this. What is this?
Yeah, so I'm showing this. This is new too. I just got this. This is quite nice. This is
Oh, what is this? FM
Beatles album.
broadcast. It's not BBC. What is that?
Um, it's
It's
really nice. It's got
hmm. But it says like, tell me what you see. Like, what is that? What is that from? I
it's
don't.
it's actually majority of the songs are pretty poor. I guess I wouldn't say poorly, but they're just the regular studio albums. I mean, so
Oh,
far they're the studio songs, but the interviews have never been released before.
oh, okay.
Um, so I'll show you that on both
Oh,
sides.
so
So
it's probably him talking with them and playing, and the tracks are playing.
yeah, and who is it? I forget. It's not Andy Peebles, but it's the guy who did the
Brian
BBC.
Matthews.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's it. But that's
Yeah,
that's kind of neat. So I was just showing that while you were gone, just to kind of fill in
yeah, it's okay.
the hole there. Um,
Yeah,
I got another one I can show you that I
because
just
when I
got.
see stuff like that, like stuff that you like me too much, or tell me what you see, stuff that you don't usually hear other alternate versions of, I get excited. Thinking,
Yeah, yeah, and I was hoping it would be, but it's not. But I got Japanese one of this.
oh yeah,
This
I'm trying to get. I have a lot of those, but I used to have more, but uh, I'm
trying
trying
to
to
fill in the
complete.
holes of these because I've
Yeah,
been collecting those for. I mean, I think you have too, haven't you? Been off and
yeah,
on.
I got a few. Years ago in the '70s, I had a lot of them, and then I sold my original collection before I made videos. And then when I made videos, I started getting it all back. But the Japanese, I'm looking now. I mean, I got maybe six, five or six. I don't have many.
Okay.
And I don't know which one. See, that's another thing. I can't always. You have that problem. Like, do I have this or not have this? Or you got a good memory that you know which ones you have when you're out? Because I never know what to
Yeah,
pick up.
I've been to record shows and I'll buy something and be excited about it, and I'm like, oh man, do I really want to spend, let's just say, $60 on this album? And I'm like, okay, I'll bite the bullet, and then I get it home and I'm like, darn, I've got this already.
Yeah, that's one thing. It happens to me with 45 sometimes. But it's one thing to
Yeah,
spend three
yeah.
or $5, but to spend like $30 or something, that's no good. And
I
I don't
just
always know
got
what I
this. This is
have.
kind of cool. I got a letter of authenticity, but it's Peter Tork, Peter
Oh,
Tork of the
cool.
Monkees.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of neat. Yeah, like I said, I
There it
got a
is.
letter of
Yeah,
authenticity.
that's good. I only have. Do I have that handy? I have nothing handy here.
I'll
But
bore you with stuff, the stuff that I've gotten. Yeah, I mean, I've
I
got
know.
all four monkeys autographed, but it's just kind of fun to get individually too. So
Yeah, I only have Mickey Dolenz. It's like I had opportunities to get the others, but I just didn't follow through.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
my brother got all four of them for me. So I that's how I got those. So the four. So that was
yeah.
kind of neat. Definitely. But yeah, I just thought I'd show a couple of fun things just for fun.
It's
They're
always a
sitting.
blast. Always a blast. So everybody out there, what's on your so-called minds?
Yeah,
Japanese are very meticulous about things. Great place to buy used records too.
yeah, really.
Yeah,
I know you're not really big into Batman, but this is kind of neat. I just got this. I've got the letter of authenticity, but that's new. That's really cool.
oh, that's a nice picture. Both of them together.
Isn't that
Yeah,
nice? Yeah, but got it framed and it's signed by both of them. That's kind of cool.
yeah.
So yeah, I like
I
the
oh
original.
yeah, I appreciate all that stuff. Old
Oh, it's funny.
nostalgia,
Yeah,
that
definitely.
kind of thing.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna put. If I get this mouse to work, I'm gonna try to put up the link again. Never know who's out there.
Yeah.
Wow, come on, can't
Funny,
do it.
funny thing. Adam West and Van Williams, the guy, the Green Hornet, they lived next door to each other, or did.
It's a small world after all. I can't do that. There it is. Okay, paste. I don't know what's up with this. Maybe I need a new battery in my electronic mouse.
Wow.
So the
What are you gonna
Stones
do today?
still rock. Um, well, I have no plans. I'm actually waiting for Miss Mayo to get up. That may, she's off today, and
How's she
maybe
feeling?
good, good. She's doing fantastic. She's been getting her checkups. It's like amazingly good. Everything is
Good.
like super healthy, super well. She's changed everything around. That's what I'm trying to do. And I think my green tea is probably iced tea by now.
But
Hmm.
no, I was concerned about how she's feeling and how she's doing. I hope to see her at the fest and maybe share and talk
Yeah.
and we can
I
do
don't know if
that.
she's gonna come or not, but we'll see. But yeah. So she's doing fantastic, and it was a year ago yesterday that I got out of the hospital because
Yeah,
I'd been in the hospital for a few days, but no, but I'm doing well too. Just
I'm
you know,
glad. Yeah, I was gonna
uh,
say, how are you feeling?
and
Because I
how
know
are
you.
you? I know you've had so much, and what's the update with your ear and everything?
Yeah, I'm
Hearing?
getting better. It kind of kind of comes and goes right now, but it's in this ear, and it's getting better. But what is just a freak accident? I mean, just a real crazy thing. That's for sure. So, but yeah, I've been taking medicine and doing Flonase and all that other stuff that they say to do, and I think it'll eventually just work its way out of my ear of being plugged up.
Well,
It's
is it better? It must be better than it was in the beginning.
oh yeah, yeah. In the beginning, I couldn't hear at all. In this side, it was completely shut out, I couldn't hear at all.
Yeah. Well,
So
that's good that you're doing better.
anyway, make a long story longer.
Thoughts on the rumors of the Beatles Disney film? I think that's a lot of nonsense right now. I don't believe that it's real. If they could do a good movie that's popular and makes new fans, I'd be happy someday.
Yeah, Dave. I don't know. I haven't heard enough to really base an opinion. I mean, I've seen a little bit of clips here and there talking about it and all that kind of stuff, and supposedly they've got already the cartoons done, and they were showing the frame of for like the case or whatever, the poster or whatever they were going to do.
Hmm.
And if it comes about, okay, I mean, I don't know. Disney seems to pour in a lot of money to what they do. Not like I'm wearing a
Hmm.
Disney shirt.
Oh, yeah,
So
right. I didn't even think about that.
they've got bottomless pockets. So if they're going to do it, it'll probably be financially a pretty big deal, and I'm sure they'll promote it hugely.
I really hope the Beatles don't get mixed up with Disney. I can't stand modern Disney rubbish. Well, I gotta say, it is a lot of rubbish, some of the new stuff they do, and they really changed everything around from the old Disney Snow White, and they're gonna do different and all this. So, yeah, I'm a little.
Yeah,
But if it's decent and it's good and it creates new young fans, I just don't want the Beatles to be considered childish or like a kiddie thing and stuff, you know.
yeah, I don't either. I don't want them to end up having you know, some kind of stupid cartoon thing that's going to be on Saturday mornings with clowns or something, or some low budget show. I mean, I can't think of what I'm trying to say, but you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
This comment, Lingo McHarrison, Joe, Brad, Matthew Street, Canadian Stud Muffin, and a few others out there have some of the best collections I've ever seen. Well, thanks, but don't forget Mr. Beatles Pro. He's got
Yeah,
a great
yeah,
collection too.
he does. He's got a tremendous collection. But I just collect for the fun. I mean, I'm not trying to, as I
Yeah,
say in my videos, I'm not trying to be better than anybody or
yeah, yeah. Of course. And
compete with
listen,
anybody. It's just for
everybody has
fun.
different stuff. You know the
Yeah,
story. I mean, if you collect everything, a lot of people have the same collectibles, but some people don't have the same thing. I mean, I'm sitting
yeah,
here. I don't know. I've got a love songs thing back here. Blow it up a little bit just so people could see. I mean, like for example, I got like a love songs thing here. I don't know, maybe somebody doesn't have that. Up here I've got the Savage Young Beatles signed by Pete Best. Maybe they have something else. A couple of
yeah,
display stands here, George and John. Over here I have a Beatles rarities big ad that was in the stores. Some have them, some have other things. Like I know
yeah,
Mr. Beatles Pro has a mobile Ringo Starr mobile, a blast from your past. I'd like that. I'd love to get that.
yeah. I would too. I would too. And that's the fun about collecting. There's always more out there. And the thing about because I'll have people comment on my channel saying, well, what about Joe Mayo? Do you guys compete against each other? It's like,
It
no,
ain't
Joe's my
competing.
buddy. We talk and we have fun collecting, and whatever's out there is out there. And
Yeah, no, it's not about it. I never thought of it as a competition ever.
no, no, I mean that's the only reason I got on doing videos is because I was getting ripped off by buying some junk repeat stuff, and I didn't want people to get ripped off. And then I thought, well, I'll start showing some other stuff.
But it gets because I'm retired. I'm on a small budget now. I still overspend because that's what
Yeah.
I do. But it's like how many things like we've talked about. I know you got a ton of these, but I mean like now I'm into like trying to get CD long boxes.
Oh yeah, neat. Yeah, those are great. I love long boxes.
And it's like what do I collect anymore? I mean, it's like because I CDs, records, books, movies, Blu-rays.
Yep.
There's way too much stuff, and sometimes again I think like you had mentioned earlier. Sometimes like I'm going to purge my vinyl. I'm going to get rid of a lot of vinyl, and then other times I'm like, no, I'm glad I got rid of some of it that I don't miss. But sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I didn't get rid of everything because now I'm back
Oh
into it.
yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like
Well, I
it's like
just it's hard collecting because it's hard collecting because there's so much out there. I mean, I just got these, and these came from England. I've
hold
got a
on.
train set, so these Beatles ones
Oh
just
yeah.
came out. So I'm gonna. There we go. I'm waiting to focus. I'm gonna do a whole video on them because there's 6 cars that are brand new.
Mhm.
I know you're not into trains, but since I got a layout, it's kind of fun to get the Beatle tray. And these are pricey. These aren't exactly like $5 each or something. It's like between buying them and then getting them shipped.
Yeah.
You're looking at about $60 a boxcar. Which doesn't sound like much, but it adds up. So yeah, I'm on a fixed income like you were saying, and it just It does. It adds up.
And says, it's okay, Joe. It makes you happy, right? Well, sometimes I look at that. I say, look, I don't give a damn. Like, for example, I'll give you this is an example of what happens to be here. Wait a minute. Let me get a few of these. Well,
Well, it's like you say, you don't drink. I've talked to Joe, and Joe says on his chats, or else others, Joe says, I don't drink and I don't smoke or any of that.
yeah,
So,
this is my thing.
yeah.
like, like for example, okay, like several months ago, I had stumbled upon a video, or somebody was doing a live thing. Actually, he was playing a record by Ike and Tina Turner, and I liked it, and not because "Come Together" is on this, but because there's a song here I really like, "Too Much Woman for a Henpecked Man," and she was singing it, and I really loved it. I like that song. I got to be on the lookout for this album, and it came out. It came up in the store. It's Ike and Tina Turner. Now it happens to say "Come Together," but it's come to. That's not why I have it, you know. And I'm like, oh, and I saw it, and I'm like, now I just got done buying. I was going to try to stick to CDs. Like, I don't need any more of these things, these cumbersome things. Like, I'm just going to stick with CDs. And I bought an Ike and Tina Turner, a couple of CDs, compilations. Excuse me. And I'm like, but here I am buying this. My point is, but yet I got sucked in again, and I bought this. And then even something like this, this is in great shape. I love old horror movies, so I bought this. Now, it's in the shrink wrap. It's a
Oh,
beautiful. It's
wow.
the themes from horror movies,
That's cool.
and it's like unplayed. It's in the original shrink wrap. This is good for Halloween time. But I'm like, I see something like this, and I'm like, as a fan around you, look around you. You know the story, Brad. It gets you, stimulates you. Oh, it scratches your itch. I'm like, I gotta
Oh,
have this.
yeah. Oh,
You know,
yeah.
and I'm like, do I really need it? No. I have this stuff I think on CD. But yet I see it and I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, I
It's
got
hard to pass up stuff, though, isn't it?
yeah, and that's why I'm like, no, no, you're supposed to getting rid of this. And I just bought like a bunch of albums by Sandy Nelson, on the drums. Just
Yeah.
drumming by Sandy. No, I'm like, what am I doing with these? I don't need these. But they're like $3. And I'm like, here we go. And that's so then tomorrow, next month, I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna start trying to get rid of a lot of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we got record store day coming up, and you and I'll be out buying then,
Well,
too.
so far I don't know. I only know there's a Joan Jett album I want. I know that. But then I'm in a store and I'm like, I'll do one more of these. Like I'm like, it's a press book for Jaws 2.
Oh, that's neat.
I'm
It's
like,
fun to
oh,
see the new stuff you got.
Jaws 3, and I'm like, what are you doing with this? This is stuff that's going to go in the closet, And there's another one, Universal Studios tour to Universal Studios, and then like the old monster. Wait a minute, like a couple of monster magazines, like Cine Fantastique and Famous Monsters. Well, this
Oh,
is different.
wow.
I want a whole collection of these Famous
Wow.
Monsters. But that's my thing. And again, it's like, well, where do you stop, man? It's like, do you or do you, and then like this one here, this comment. It's okay. It makes you happy, right? And other times I say, yeah, it don't make a difference, but I enjoy it. The hell with it. I'm gonna make
Yeah.
myself happy. I let people come in here and clean up the mess when I'm gone. I don't care.
Oh. Well, if you enjoy it, you're having fun with it. I was gonna see if I.
And I see a beautiful copy of which I showed already, Hard Day's Night UK, and I'm like, yeah, I need to get all the UK albums in great shape. So
Oh,
that'll
that's
start.
nice. Well, I mean, you talk about stuff you want to get and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I saw this online and I was like, I really want this because I've never seen it before. But this is kind of cool.
Is that the new release?
So yeah, a lot of people are because I showed it on my video and people are like, oh yeah, that's really cool. It's an album, isn't it? Well, it's from Japan, but here's the song listings. I'm leading up to something here. If you
No,
just
I'm going to
just
blow it up a
indulge
little bit. Yeah, that's a
indulge me
big.
for a minute.
A lot of the biggies there. Yeah.
So, but here it is. So that that's the song listings. But here it is. It's a laser disc.
Oh yeah.
So it's actually quite rare, but it's all video. I still have a laser disc player. There's not too
Oh
many
yeah.
people that don't have them anymore. They're all trashed or gone and all of that. So I'm buying up the Paul McCartney laser discs because they're fantastic. But
I collect the if I see laser discs, I collect them like things that I like, but I don't
like
play them.
John Lennon lasers and stuff like that.
Somebody
But
says these days I try to enjoy what I have versus buying new stuff. Well, I used to think that too. That there'd come a time when I'll always buy new stuff. I'll always
yeah,
will, but
as
less of
as a
it.
collector, it's hard not to pass on stuff though. You
Yeah,
kind
and
of
I used
see.
to think like, well, one day I'll retire, or even when I'm older than I am now, and I will just be playing all my movies, and I'll just be playing all my records, and I don't need it. I have like just about everything, more or less. You know, yeah, can't ever have enough Beatles. Always finding something new after 40
Yeah,
years collecting. Yeah, absolutely.
you're right about that. Definitely.
Hi, Lee. Lee says, did we ever find out what new Beatles film Peter Jackson was talking about? No, I don't think we ever did. I don't know exactly what he's talking, or what he's going to do, what he's working on.
The last that I heard was that he was working on the Cavern Club or the those kind of tapes and cleaning them
Oh,
up
that
and
yeah, Hamburg maybe.
yeah, so that's the last I heard was the Cavern Club stuff, and cleaning it up and putting it back out and remixing it, which that album's kind of a sleeper. I mean, it's really a bad album, being I mean, the one I'm talking about, the two record set, and it's the
Yeah.
quality of it's horrible. And if somebody like Peter Jackson went in and remixed it and changed it around to where you can actually hear it, I think it would be quite a great album, really.
Mhm. There's a fine line between collecting and hoarding. Yeah, that's what they say. But you know what? Hoarding is a word that I think it has a bad connotation to it.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know. When I think of hoarding, what I think of is like when I watch the show Hoarders. It's
yeah,
people that collect pizza, that just have pizza boxes and newspapers and old stuff, and the garbage is up to the ceiling here, and you got to crawl up here over the mountains of pizza boxes and tin cans and rat feces to get. To me, that's different than collecting this stuff.
yeah,
So I don't look at it like that. And hoarding, it's one of those things, Lee, that I hate that because it's like I hate like buzzwords that people use now. You're a hoarder. If you like to get somebody's autograph, stalker.
yeah,
These things that people say all the time. If somebody puts that out, like it's a cash grab. I'm like, when people like cling to these like modernisms, it's like I don't know. So, but I know what you're saying in a way. Collecting can get to be too much sometimes.
yeah.
Yeah,
And there's
but
there's times I've passed on albums. There's time. So there's a difference between a hoarder and a collector. I mean, a hoarder basically just piles up everything and anything they can find, to where a collector is a little bit more choosier.
more discerning, right? But right, that's true too. You're more discerning what you care,
Excuse me.
choosy about what you're gonna have. You know,
Yeah,
so yeah, I agree with that. Um, and I don't know. It's like I think my biggest problem with it is only, as I've said before, space. It's like if I had like a nice size house and I had maybe like a couple of big bedrooms or whatever, one for movies, say, one for Beatles, or two, whatever. If I had more space in a bigger
yeah,
house,
yeah,
then I'd be like, if I had the room, then when I die, it's like I don't care. I mean, my only care about when I die is two things. That if if I'm with Miss Mayo, the whole thing is that she would maybe get some profit out of it. She could make some money off it and sell it. But mostly for me, that other people get to enjoy it. Like in other words, this would wind up in Brad's house. Some of the stuff he doesn't have, Brad would have it, but or whoever, So it goes to people who
yeah,
like this stuff, who
yeah.
appreciate it. It doesn't get junked in the garbage. That's all. Like because I'm dead, I don't care. When that I
Exactly.
you know
I mean, as my wife, she's not into the Beatles, so I like buying this. if I my wife sold this, she'd be like, oh, you can have it for $2.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's the only thing I worry about. I don't have instructions on everything because people don't know. Like, there's stuff here that could be worth a lot of money. Certain records that you could get $200 for,
Yeah,
or but I don't have explicit notes for everything. I said if the day ever comes, you got to like
yeah,
maybe go on eBay a little bit, look around Discogs. Certain albums don't just sell everything for like $1 or
exactly.
something.
Yeah. Well, it's like
You know.
Robert P. He's got a whole pages of lists of all kinds of stuff that he's got. Saying this is worth this, this is
Oh
worth
yeah,
this. This goes to so and so, this goes to my cousin, this goes to so and so person. I mean, he's very well organized in that way, but
yeah. I have never done that. Yeah, and now you got to kind of do that as you go along. I think because if you start, people always say like, do I put my albums on Discogs so I know what I have, like catalog it all? And I'm like, well, now it'll be too much to go through everything individually. It'd be a
yeah,
lifetime job.
because I've been doing that Discogs thing, and it's you've got a massive collection of vinyl, and when you start doing stuff like that, it's. I mean, I've started a year and a half ago, and I kind of still doing it. It's very hard to get it in.
Yeah, well, and collecting, everybody who's a collector, it makes them happy. It makes you happy, whatever the reason. People are looking for psychological reasons. Are they fulfilling a void in their life? I don't know. Do you smoke cigarettes because you have a void in your life? Do you drink and get drunk because you have a void? Are you gambling because everybody has something. And to me, this is one of the least harmful things you can do.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
but
that it is.
um, Lee says, "I wish there was more film footage of the Beatles' White Album era." Well, I've seen this footage now of Paul singing "Blackbird" and Mother Nature's Son. Have you
Yep.
seen that around? I've seen the Blackbird before. Have you seen Mother
Yeah,
Nature? I know you
yeah.
have a lot of stuff too on
I've had that on DVD for
DVD.
many years before that came.
I'm
But
wondering
yeah,
if there's stuff that nobody's seen yet that hasn't been out in the circle,
well, I mean, there's
collector
two
circle.
promo videos to back in the USSR, which I've got those. And there was an American video and there was a UK video of both of those, and those haven't surfaced. There's a couple other. I mean, there's some videos of them just goofing around in the studio during the White Album, but there isn't really anything that's the only thing that's a complete song is back in the USSR. Both of those are complete because they were going to use those when oh, what album came
Right?
out?
What could it be? The rock and roll music album? No.
Possibly what it was either rock and roll or the one that's got 20 greatest.
Oh,
The one that's
20.
the white with the 20 greatest.
Oh. Well, you know what I say a lot of times people now I don't know for sure, but we tend to do this. People will say, "Well, is there going to be any outtakes on if they put like the early albums out, the early Beatles albums? Are there going to be outtakes?" And people say, "Well, there's not many outtakes from the first couple albums." And I'm like, I could be wrong, but what I'm saying is people tend to go by what's been out so far. Like they don't know of that many with the Beatles outtakes. But
Yeah,
maybe in the vaults, things that people that the bootleggers never got to or never heard. There's stuff, and the same thing with the footage. Like you said, Brad, accurately, you said, "Oh, there's this and that, goofing around like they do Hey Jude, experiment in TV. Them in the studio rehearsing Hey Jude." And then there's other stuff, and that's it. Well, that's all that we know of that maybe hasn't been unearthed, but maybe there's stuff that people find or
yeah,
know of.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Same thing with Get Back. People would say, "Oh, well, we've seen all the Get Back stuff. We all had those reels for years, black and white stuff. John and Yoko, a lot of John and Yoko Get Back, black and white reels, and this and that." But then look what came out with Peter Jackson, stuff that we never knew, footage we
yeah,
never saw in the bootleg circle.
yeah. There's a lot out there that hasn't been uncovered because they found some stuff recently at Abbey Road Studios and like one of the closets they found. It was like 5 months ago they were talking about it, and I don't know what's happened to that, but like there's a video of the Beatles. I've got it. It's a DVD of Mad Day Out, and it's like a 40-minute video in color of Mad Day Out, and it's unbelievably fantastic, and I
Hmm.
don't know why they just would not excuse the pun, capitalize on it and put it out as a DVD. And there's so much stuff out there, like George Harrison in Japan when he and Clapton.
Yes, I
There
think
was a
that's
legit video of that. I mean, why
it's
don't
one
they
of
put a
my wants of
DVD out?
that. I mean, I want the and if I always say it with the live in Japan, I don't know if they have really great quality
Yeah, there
of,
is.
of every song on the
Yeah, there's a
tour.
pro shot of every single song, just
Oh,
like the
it should
album or CD.
it should be out then, and they could do enough with a documentary. They had There's footage of I have of press conferences in '91 of George
Yeah,
and Eric getting
yeah,
together in Japan. They can make a nice little event. This is the story of when they went to Japan in '91. Here they are arriving. Here they are press conference footage. Here's the songs, pro shots. They could make a nice thing of it, but they don't do it. Brad, there's a question that's been lingering around here. It's a trigger question by Greg. Are the Beatles the best group ever, or is it the Rolling Stones? Well, it's the Beatles. I think everybody knows that. That's a fact. No,
it's the Ruddles.
the Beatles. Everybody has opinions. I love the Rolling Stones, but to me, they're the Beatles' baby brother. They're not in the same league as the Beatles, but they're right there second to me.
Yeah,
They're different. They're very different.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you got two total different bands. I mean, in lots of ways, the Stones are a lot more bluesy than the Beatles would ever be. The Stones had a lot more blues and R&B about their music, where the Beatles didn't do a lot of that. So, in that regards, they're a lot different. The Stones certainly have got a big legacy, and so do the Beatles. So I think they're both comparable and both enjoyable in both circles, really.
Laura asks, will you guys on Talk More Talk be doing an interview with Ken Womack for the new Mal Evans books? Absolutely. We're going to be talking to Ken Womack about the Mal Evans book, and don't know exactly when that's going to be yet. I don't want to say for sure. It's either going to be late November or early December. Probably more early December. We'll probably do that, but we're not 100% sure when. But yeah, that's on the agenda, schedule
That's
for
neat.
Talk
That's
More
neat.
Talk. And yeah, Mal Evans' book. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That'll be a very good show, definitely. So,
Yeah, this is quite a treat again. I say having Beetle Brad join me today. This is
oh
great.
gosh, Joe, thank you for
Uh,
having me. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
we didn't plan it at all. It just was spontaneous. I just came on here. Do you collect all four Beatles members equally, or do you concentrate on a particular Beatle more than on the others, Brad?
I collect evenly, but I probably have a tendency to collect more Paul stuff than the others solo wise. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean I'll
I'm de-
collect the others solo wise, but Paul definitely. Yeah,
well, I'm definitely even on the four of them. I try to do everything just the way it is. Anything they have, I try to do evenly, except that Paul just basically has more stuff. I mean, he's had more time, more consecutive stuff. It's interesting. I've always said that, although we lost John and George, who to me, in my opinion, were probably the most interesting Beatles and the more involved or complex Beatles.
hmm
The two
hmm
Beatles who are still with us, Paul and Ringo, have always been the most commercial and have always done the most. Like they've always been out there doing TV appearances, and putting a lot of records out. So the two Beatles who remain are the ones that are the most commercial and probably accessible.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
That's a good answer.
so I still care. I was thinking that again about George too. I'm like, wow, what a jip not
But
having
the concert
George.
stuff. Back to that, like you and I were talking about. I mean, that would be a fantastic DVD of them putting out the Japan stuff, because there's a lot out there, and yeah, there is pro shot to every song too.
Yeah,
So that
I wasn't sure of that. So I'm glad you cleared that up. I wasn't sure. I know they put some stuff on that best of George compilation. They put the videos, promos. They
Yeah,
put some
that's just an appetizer.
appetizer right now. Yeah,
Yeah, that's an appetizer. And I tell you, another really good DVD concert that's long gone is when George played before the. It was kind of a practice one for him when he did the Royal Albert Hall.
yeah, that's a good show.
That's a really good DVD. I mean, that would make a fantastic DVD and a CD packaging. I mean, they could, instead of like with and Ringo and Paul and George and John, they're all in the category of putting out the same stuff. Like how many copies of Imagine do we need that's going to be reissued, or
That's right.
Band on the Run, or All Things Must Pass. Nothing against them, but there's just so much more stuff out there
I agree.
that if they
Yeah,
put that stuff out there instead of letting the bootleggers do it, they probably would entice a lot more viewers to say, "Oh yeah, I might be real interested in this," or
yep.
So
I'm trying to think of an answer for this. If the Stones got the blues that the Beatles lacked, then what did Rolling Stones lack that the Beatles had? And I'm thinking, I was going to say great songwriting, but I mean that's ridiculous because the Stones have great songs too. Okay, oh geez, I just remembered I gotta do something. Brad, do you have stuff to show? I'm sure you do that you want to
I
share.
got to go here in a couple seconds, so I
Yeah.
probably should jump off. But let
Well,
me answer
well,
the
let's do that. I
question.
can go too after. Let's make this the end then. We'll wrap it
Okay,
up.
just real quick, I think the Beatles are more of a kind of a family to where the parents would enjoy listening to the Beatles. They were kind of safer, I guess you could say. They were kind of more or less a little more even kilo to where the Stones um, would sing about "Let's spend the night together," and the Stones were a little more rocky or a little more edgier.
That's a
Um,
great answer. That is a great answer, and I'm going to agree with you because that is a great answer, and it's true. They're
Thanks.
more of a mass appeal,
Yeah,
and for more people, all different types of people. Young, old, there's some hardcore stuff from the Beatles, but Helter Skelter, Revolution, and stuff like Revolution 9 and stuff
yeah,
like that. But there's also stuff like Michelle and
yeah,
Yesterday and stuff. And I think that their music, it's uncanny how it kind of like stands the test of time.
yeah,
It's always
yeah,
fresh. It's always loved by new generations. Where I think the Rolling Stones is great if you like rock, you know.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
know
But you,
I know the Rolling Stones have some country. They have
they
Faraway
do
Eyes, and they have
wild horses,
Wild Horses, Angie. I know that, but
Angie. Yep.
overall they're harder.
But
So
you wouldn't take the Rolling Stones album, "Sympathy for the Devil" to go show your grandmother, but you'd be okay to show her the Beatles' sixth album or Beatles' Sergeant
yeah,
Pepper. That would be
yeah,
okay.
Grandma, this is for you, Grandma. I got a song for you. It's called "When I'm 64." There you go,
Yeah,
there you go,
yeah.
Granny. Enjoy that.
Instead of
Um,
"Sympathy for the
and
Devil,"
here,
it's like, oh my gosh.
and here's a little honey pie for you, there, Gramps. But anyway, Brad, I'm gonna get going too. Thank you
Me
so
too.
much. Let's do this again.
Yeah,
Uh,
thank you for letting me be on your show. I
oh,
feel honored. You're a fantastic guy. So
oh,
thank
thank you.
you.
Likewise, anytime. And thank you all for watching. And we will talk to you soon. So,
Yeah, good to
uh,
see
and
everybody.
what do you usually say, Beetle Brad, at the end of your shows?
And as I say, I'm out of here.